Hi everyone, this is my presentation on the project-based learning summaries. So for chapter 3, it focused on identifying the big idea. The more complex and important an idea is, the better suited it is for this type of project treatment. The big idea is the core concepts and processes, so you can focus on the student-based projects, focus on students' interest, make sure that the students understand what's going on, types of projects like that. Good projects make good frame of references for students, so the textbooks are very useful and they cover the information, but it is only used as a tool. You are supposed to interact with the student-centered projects and use them to help the students better understand. And in order to set these up, you have to ask yourself questions. These are a few that I kind of connected them to. So does it apply to real life? And what can the students learn from this? The next part is from chapter 3, plan the project. There are steps in order to make the students feel interested in the project. So it's remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. So analyze, evaluate, and create are one of the top sections that you need to focus on. Analyze is kind of like focusing on making sure that everything is being explained, making sure that you have everything classified. Evaluate is you're judging how well it's organized, and then create, you're adapting it and combining it and designing it to make it fit for each student. For chapter 4, it focuses on figuring out your instructional goals. So you want collaborations with students, problem solving, being able to access technology, even working with other teachers to make this work. There are many things, and one of the other sections that it talks about in chapter 4 is overcoming pitfalls. So it's like reworking into the projects, making sure that everything kind of works out and you figure out different ways to fix certain situations. So one of the pitfalls that they talk about is long on activities, short on learning outcomes. So like you want to use some of the things that I have listed here. Compare and contrast, predict, cause and effect, identify patterns, and using different point of views to help you reach over those pitfalls and accomplish your goals. Chapter 4 also talks about getting great projects. So in order to get great projects, you have to keep it interesting and to the point, loosely designed and generative. So this means like you keep it where each student can come up with a different outcome and it can be modified so that other people can use it. The next part is question driven to capture students' interest. So you want to make it so that the projects are open for students to make their own questions, that it's realistic, that you can actually use it in the real world. Reach beyond school. This is more of looking in the way of making it involved to others. So like you're involving student learning from each other and pretty much connecting it to authentic audiences, and you want the students to be able to learn by doing. For chapter 5, chapter 5 focuses on how everything has worked out. So for this part, you want to question yourself and ask what you want the students to know about being able to do. You want to understand what students know and what you are asking them to do, and how will we have them achieve these learning goals. Some of the parts that they talk about in this chapter are assessment for learning. So for assessment for learning, it's more of a formative assessment. I connected this to non-graded pretests. So like it's the way you look at how much the students know before they're introduced to the learning topic, and it helps to tap into the minds of the students to help you understand how well into detail you have to go into each topic. The next one is assessment of learning. This one is a summative assessment. This one is more of like assignments and quizzes and how well they understood what you were teaching them. So this helps you like understand what materials work for the students, what didn't work for them. Helps you understand what needs to be fixed and not fixed, and yeah. In chapter 5, it also talks about options and tools that you can use to help get these assessments into the classroom. So like there's brainstorming, checklists, concept maps, exit slips, which for when I was in high school, middle school, these ones really helped out a lot for my teachers. They understood like, at the end of the lessons, we understood what was going on, and project logs such as like reading logs, could be just basic projects, just little things that can help fix everything. And I wanted to go ahead and add this quote in at the end because I felt that this quote connected to these chapters. The quote says, "I can't teach anybody anything. I can only make them think." This is kind of what the project-based learning is focused on. It's not necessarily focusing on the students relying on us as teachers, but for them to think for themselves and understand new material for their own. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little PowerPoint, and hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you.